So, in thinking about simple truths that I have found that work for me, I think that the core of a lot of our problems that we have um, that make us upset and dealing with emotions have to do with our beliefs. Our beliefs are unconscious, and those beliefs say something happens. This is from Albert Ellis. He's a psychologist. So something happens, A, something happens at work. B, you have a belief about it that it's wrong, a judgment. C, you get angry and upset about it or something. So there's A, B, and C, but there's always a belief that happens that gives you that emotion, that makes it wrong, or a belief or a judgment that makes it happen. So I believe that transforming yourself relies on transforming a core belief that you have about life, about yourself, or about people, or any belief that you've picked on because of past trauma. And then those beliefs are layered and layered, and pretty soon things happen and you're just like, things happen and you don't really know what's going on consciously, but there's just so much stuff, and there's so much stuff to deal with. Maybe be upset, and you don't even have to be upset. You could just not, like, I'm alive and I'm fully functioning and I'm happy and I'm like just living life. I mean, you could just be kind of apathetic or fine, but really kind of not like totally self-expressed and happy, which is, I think, our natural condition if we don't have stuff weighing on us. So yeah, that was a psychologist, Albert Ellis, that came up with that ABC, which is that something happens and you have a belief about it, and then you get the emotion and you react to that belief. But a lot of times we are not clear about what's happening. And then another thing is negative thoughts. So a lot of times, Daniel Amen, I think, coined this phrase. He wrote the book called Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, and he does a lot of brain scans and experiments about the brain and supplements and stuff. But anyway, he wrote a book called Change Your Brain, Change Your Life, and in that he called automatic negative thoughts ants, A-N-T, automatic negative thoughts. And he said you can have automatic negative thoughts just happening all day, and then it cycles, and it's just a routine. It's a story. It plays over and over again. And the negative thoughts are basically judgments. They're usually exaggerations in your mind. Like, it's always like this, or it's never like this. Or they're judgments of comparing yourself to other people, or judgments about how people are wrong, or you're less than, or they're more than, or this is wrong. This right here cannot be. I cannot be with this. Which really, God has made so many wondrous things and so many things that we can do in different ways. We think that something has to be this way right now, and then we get upset because we have a belief that it can't be any other way, that how could we survive, or this is a tragedy, or but there is another way. Not in that moment.
Yeah, you always have a choice.
In that moment it's not going to feel like you have a choice, but in the end things will work themselves out. There is another way things will happen. It might take time, especially if you're grieving someone or something, a breakup or death. Those things that has to die, and your emotions have to die with it, and new things have to spring forth. So some ways that I have, this is a simple truth for me, is that I have figured out that if I can figure out my core beliefs, then I can change and transform my reaction to things. So some of the things I've done is like journaling about what happened and what judgments and beliefs I have about the situation and about everything. Another thing I've done is I've talked to a trusted friend. When I say trusted, I mean someone who'll be honest with you. Like, I can share my heart with you, and you're going to tell me your reality of the situation, not just, oh yeah, man, they're awful, I agree, or just, bonding on negative things. What someone you really believe, you give you an accurate description of what happened, because in general, most of the times people are being misunderstood. They have a view of reality, and you have a view of reality, and they're absolutely nothing alike because of those core beliefs are different. And I've gotten along with people that have really totally different core beliefs than me, but I can understand why they have that belief and have some kind of sympathy for their experience of life is totally different from mine. And they can see things differently than I do, which is why they are like the way that they are. And when you see that, you get an insight into how they are and you guys are the same with your experiences, giving you a certain belief in life. So that's some of the simple truths that I have found, is that, journaling, talking to someone about what's going on, is there could be a core belief that is a theme throughout your life, maybe from your past. And when you get that belief maybe grounded in reality, you could actually change a belief and believe something else. But when it's just running you and you don't know it's there, it's running the show and having an effect on you that you don't know is having an effect. And you're not in charge. Your beliefs are in charge. And with you not knowing, lots of things may happen to you that are not that fun or pleasurable or joyful, because there's no reason we can't wake up every day and be joyful if we are conscious of what, So how do you see that happen?
So you see, like for instance, like if you're at work, like a lot of times what I do is like, I don't want to see this person doing more work than they have to, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna help that person, or everyone that I can for that matter. But then you do that, and eventually it becomes you
expected.
It becomes expected everyone, and you expect it upon yourself. Like, oh, if I'm doing this sometimes, why not I do it every time? That way I keep on getting more positive reaction from
praise.
Other people. Yeah, positive praise from other people. Or for instance, whenever you get like a lot of people that disagree with, like everyone has their own core beliefs, right? And people disagree with them a lot of times, but not all the time. Yeah, because like you said, people can change their beliefs. People can understand where someone else is coming from. But most people, or a lot of people today, don't do that, which is why countries can get divided, or like families, or the world, or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be about anyone or anything.
Yeah, it can be about something simple or something serious.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it can build, and then people can burn bridges, and it's too far gone, and they don't even know how to relate to those people anymore.
Yeah, especially like people are like in cults or whatever, and horrible, like they get stuck in that belief system, and then maybe some of them realize that, oh, what am I doing here? And and like the people that do stay with it for whatever reason, they think, oh, I have to do this because this is my belief. If I don't stay, then something bad will happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go to the good place, or I'm not going to live to the best I can live. And you start thinking those extreme thoughts, and you're like, wow.
And then you get stuck there.
You get stuck there, and you have to do it until you
have a breakdown. Sometimes breakdowns can lead to breakthroughs, because a lot of people, but you don't have to wait till you have a breakdown to change your core beliefs.
You don't have to, but maybe you feel like that, oh, if you do change your core beliefs, then you're like, am I just faking it, or is this what I actually believe? And you're like,
Sometimes you just have
who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for me? Am I changing it because someone else wanted me to?
Right.
What do I actually believe?
Right. Sometimes you just have to follow your journey that is your path, and then you might change your beliefs along the way because you're at a certain age or a certain environment, or you can also choose to leave environments if it's just really not working for you. So there's lots of choices to make. The important thing is that you can always have power in your life. You may not like the power that you have, but when you feel like you have no choice and you have no power, you can try to create a scenario where you have some power of the situation by looking at the beliefs that are forcing you into this trapped way of thinking where you're caught. And sometimes it helps. I mean, I've been in situations before where I didn't think it would help.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, looking back, I was like, well, not at the time. That was the best choice I could make. Now, looking back, maybe there would have been other choices. But that is the choice that I made at the time based on what I knew. And a lot of people are in that struggle. They're making the best choice that they can see possible at the time. Like Jesus said in the Bible, forgive them, Lord. They know not what they're doing, or however it goes. But they know not what they're doing.
Do you think the same can be said throughout history? Or do you think that was just more greediness? Because people had the choice, I could have changed this. But you know what? I'm not going to change this because this horrible thing that's going on is benefiting me. So I'm just going to keep on letting it happen throughout history.
Well, there are enlightened individuals, who have made incredible choices, like Gandhi or Mother Teresa, or other people like Martin Luther King. So they have made certain karmic things in their life that they were destined to be leaders and show the way for other people. But not everybody has that driven purpose to, enlighten others and to be the role model. So people are just where they're at. And so you just have to accept that that's where they are. And you have to accept where you are at also. Because when you can accept yourself and forgive yourself, it's easier for you to forgive other people. It's 107 out here.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I think we'll end for now.